Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Breakaway Movement Community Call. It's so beautiful to have you all here for an hour, especially given the kind of global hysteria that we are in right now. It's nice for us all to come together as a community and kind of lift the vibes. And also we have a beautiful speaker that will be coming on in about 10 minutes, who will be sharing his insights when it comes to this hysteria, this pandemic, and this virus. So as always, we love to start our calls off with wins. If you happen to be new here and this is one of your first calls, welcome. It's such a pleasure to have you. If you happen to be called out, please simply unmute yourself and share something beautiful that's happened in this last week, whether it's something personal, professional, or some kind of, mindset shift that you've gone through that you can share with others. So I'll kick things off. I suppose my win I'll share is from today. My immediate team alongside Elise and Ingrid, we hosted our own call where we allowed any lead that we had to jump on so they could kind of feel our energy and kind of also serve as a distraction for what is happening on this global scale. So yeah, that felt really, really good to hold for a bunch of people. So yeah, that's my win. Alrighty, I would love to hear from Brian. Brian, what's your win?
Hello there, everybody. I'm actually brand new to band movement. My win is I've actually started a podcast YouTube channel within the last, I want to say, 2 weeks, but this week has transformed a lot more because I'm taking a lot of criticism from outside perspectives to be able to change the movement of what I'm trying to create inside of what I'm trying to create with other people, is just connections through emotions and being able to express ourselves freely. We've all had traumas, we've all had different things happen inside of our life, and it's being able to really express it authentically and real, which inside of our society is very tough to do because of the things that are happening in this world. But yeah, it's gotten to a point where I'm just ready to share my voice and share my experiences of this life to others and allow others to share their life with me and be able to spread it to more people. Yeah,
that's beautiful.
For sure.
Yeah, I love that. I feel like right now many light workers are being called to share. So it's beautiful that you hear that call and you know that right now is your time. So yeah, thank you for what you're doing. It's definitely needed. Would you like to pick someone else?
Olivia, just because you look like a fun one there.
Hi everyone, thank you for choosing me. I guess a win for me is I've signed up to Breakaway Movement and I got my machine. I got the Anespa and I set that all up on Sunday and I set up my K8 yesterday and I've just been choking on water, going to toilet all the time. And I am currently in the military. I'm in the Navy as a qualified chef, so I have a lot of trauma and I understand being a light worker, and that really resonates with me in this time because I'm getting a medical discharge, and I've manifested something like this for so long, and I jumped straight into it, and it just makes me so happy. Like the smile on my face, just this whole community lights me up, and I just appreciate. I'm just so much of the gratefuls right now.
That is beautiful. Congratulations on getting your machine and drinking the water. And yes, for anyone who doesn't have the water, it's very hydrating. So you do go to the bathroom quite a lot.
Yeah, thank you.
Amazing.
I'll pick Kerry.
Hello, this is actually my first call as well, so I'm very new. Thank you for choosing me. This is all already resonating with me so much, so I'm super excited. I think my win for this week would just be a mindset shift. So with everything that's going on, I had a lot of travel plans that were kind of canceled, and then I actually was waiting to hear back from some law stuff back in Canada, and I heard about it all at the same time, and it just felt like everything fell apart. And instead of thinking about it as a negative, I was like, wow, holy crap, everything just opened up. And I've been feeling called to share a lot too. I've been kind of putting myself out there a lot more. I've been having these intentions on starting a blog, and all of a sudden someone comes up to me or just reaches out to me. Hey, can you come on my podcast? Can I interview you for this? Can we do a consultation call? Are you interested in starting a blog? Can you do this? I'm talking to all these people, and everything's like, wow. I just thought that there was a huge opening. And the moment I saw it like that, instead of, everything's changed and I don't have these things anymore, I just did that mindset shift of, wow, now I get to redirect and reevaluate. And it's like, all these things came all at the same time. So I'm not affiliated yet, but I have lots of things in the works kind of going on in the background. And yeah, it's my first call. I'm just super excited that I only signed up like 6 days ago. So it was really cool that I'm here now.
Wow, that is all such in divine timing, how everything's aligning for you. I love that.
I know.
Welcome. It's lovely to have you here.
Thank you.
Cool. Let's pick one more person.
On my screen, I can see Ginny.
Hi, Jenny. We can't hear you for some reason. Nope.
Yeah,
yes,
cool.
Hello.
Sorry. When I have my earphones in, sometimes it doesn't work. My win is just really connecting with Sam, and I've just been learning so much about him, and just everything that he posts has just been making me be like, yes, yes, and like so much more in love with this machine just from what it can do. And that's just this time that we're going through just shows we're really, really abundant having this machine at home, as well as I had a lady that was only going to buy a JR, and suddenly she turned around and was like, nope, I want the K8 and the Inespa. And I was just like, so it was really, really good. I'm flying now. I'm just really happy. That's
amazing. Amazing. And I love that you were called, given that you were actually the person who introduced Sam to me to get him on the call. So
Yeah.
How do you know Sam, and what is your experience with all of this? Oh, nope, headphones back in. All right, no worries. I'll do a quick introduction. So I just still mute. Sorry. All right, I'll just do my intro. I think you put your headphones in so we couldn't hear you any longer, but that's all good. So Sam Tran is a clinical laboratory scientist who spent 23 years working in healthcare and research. He has had an incredible history, I suppose, of education. Whoops, sorry, Junie, could you mute yourself? Thanks, love. Now in 2014, Sam did have a really terrible experience, which did land himself in a coma. Now this brush with death kind of gave him a new focus in life, which is to focus on true health. And right now he's going to be sharing with us, I guess, his perspective on this pandemic, given all of his research and all the studies that he has done, and share a bit about his own life experience. So Sam, I guess we'll kick things off. What's your, I guess, introduction?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me on here, guys. I just connected with Ginny just a few days ago, and she asked me to come on and answer questions for the group. As you guys heard there, I spent my career, I studied medical technology. I was actually supposed to become a dentist, but I didn't want to work with spit and blood all day, so I went into research. My brother is a dentist though. I studied at the University of Washington, and then just went into the hospital working in the clinical laboratories there. Laboratory medicine was my specialty. I ran all the blood samples. When you go to a doctor and they measure they take the blood samples, measure your cholesterol and all those things. They send them to the labs. I was in the lab running those tests. I did that for about 4 or 5 years and kind of saw the revolving door that is our medical system in the U.S. here. And, people just get a little bit better and they get sent home and they don't change their diets. And it's just a big revolving door. And I wanted to have a bigger impact than that. And so at the time, I just went into pharmaceutical research because that was the only other avenue to get in the cutting edge of things. Because that was 22 decades ago. So that was my only avenue at the time. So I started working in pharmaceutical research. looking at the side effect profiles of all the drugs and thinking that I was going to be a part of the discovery of the cure for cancer and the cure for diabetes and the cure for a variety of things, irritable bowel disease. And little did I know, I had joined a business in essence. And so it's a bad business model to cure anyone of anything. And so unfortunately, I became disenfranchised with my career path. I was making great money. I'm an immigrant kid from Vietnam. I came over here to the U.S. as a refugee after the Vietnam War. So I was essentially living the American dream, but I felt very odd that I wasn't happy and fulfilled, and started to have a midlife crisis at 38. And so that's when I started to question what I was a part of and what's going on, because on paper I should be super happy, but I wasn't fulfilled. So I started doing all sorts of stuff. I became a ski instructor part-time. I skateboarded with all my kids. I just did all sorts of things and just started to really live and go look for happiness. Unfortunately, one of those times I was skateboarding, longboarding with my kids, I fell and cracked my head open and went into a coma. At the time, it was pretty scary. All I knew was I got some speed wobble because I was leaning back on my longboard, and the front end started to wobble and hit my head. And just before I went out, I said, "Wow, this is going to hurt." And then I was in a coma for about a day. But that was enough for me to experience heaven. And when I was in a coma, I didn't go through a white tunnel of light. I went through a kaleidoscope of light. This is the back of my phone, right? So this is the tunnel of light that I went on through. And so it was a kaleidoscope of light. And then I pop out to this space that was, it was just a white space. It felt like it was inside, but there's no wind. There's no breeze. So it was inside, but it was as big as the universe. It was as big as the world. And so I went like this with my hands, and I didn't have any hands. And I said, "Whoa, this is very awkward." I had awareness, but I didn't know where I was. I felt surrounded by other spirits. I couldn't see anything because I couldn't even see my own hands. It was just a big white space. But I was overcome by this feeling of love and acceptance. Like I had been gone for 1,000 years, and then I just returned back. And so it was just an amazing experience. And I felt other spirits or other beings in the room. If it was the room, maybe, I don't know, maybe I was in the waiting room for heaven. I don't know where I was, but it was such a nice space, and I didn't want to leave actually. But I was there for what felt like, maybe 10, 15 minutes. And the next thing I knew, I was back in my body. And I heard the beeping of the heart monitor and things like that. So, but it changed me. And so that was June 7th, 2014 was when I fell. So I came out of that coma, and I had severe vertigo. And I was trying to figure out, how do I fix this vertigo? Because the doctor was really set on putting me on anti-nausea pills for 6 months or a year, because there's no cure for vertigo. And then I did research on my own, basically just Googled natural cures for vertigo. And there was this video from the doctors. There's this TV show, 4 doctors, and they were talking about this hat. It's called the DigiFix hat. And then Amazon ordered it. It was 2-day shipping. And then, I tried this hat on, and then, basically you move your head a certain way and you reset the crystals inside your inner ear. And so I was like, who in the world, like, how come my doctor didn't tell me about this? I'm like, I actually frankly got really pissed off at my doctor because he did not tell me about this, and he was just ready to break out the prescription pad and just put me on anti-nausea pills and whatever, pills for 6 months or a year or whatever. And 3 days or a couple days after I started using that device and moving my head a certain way, I found out it was called the Eppley Method. A lot of chiropractors know that method. And unbeknownst to me, I was in the world of pharmaceuticals, and so who knew there was natural cures out there? And so it kind of led me to have this aha moment and say, what else don't I know about? Or what else have I not been taught? Right? And so that's what led me down this path of searching for things that were, because I'm a professional scientist, I'm a professional researcher. I am paid to investigate and verify and validate and look at things. I trust by verify everything. And a friend of mine asked me to verify or help them look at this Kangen, water machine. And I kind of rolled my eyes. I said, come on, we're trying to cure cancer. Like we're trying to cure diabetes and some autoimmune diseases. And you're going to bring this stupid water to me? Like, are you joking me? Are you pulling my leg here? And so I was as skeptical as they come, because I had my whole career, my whole education, everything was scientific, right? And here's someone coming from left field, a friend of mine, but I just kind of, based on what I know, I was very skeptical. It didn't add up. And so, but once I looked into it, you go in PubMed, Google Scholar, I know how to research things. I know how to break things apart and research them. So you look at it and I'm like, this is very interesting. There's so much research here. Either all these researchers are lying, right? Or there's something here that I don't know about, right? Either all the YouTube videos, all these people giving their testimonials are lying, or there's something here that I don't know about, right? And I don't know if there's a big barn somewhere that all these YouTubers get together and they collaborate their story, and you talk about this and you talk about that. I don't think that goes on. People are sharing these stories. It's like regular looking people. They're not like movie actors or anything, just sharing their story. And I said, maybe there's something to this. And so I started, my first experience was drinking a gallon of water after playing basketball. I used to play basketball every single Monday night, and I used to be sore on Tuesday and Wednesday. And when I drank that water, my friend just finally said, just drink the water. That's all you gotta do. Just drink the water, see what happens. I woke up on Tuesday, I wasn't sore. I woke up on Wednesday, I wasn't sore. And I was like, what the heck is going on here? And that's what took me down the rabbit hole. And so at the end of that rabbit hole, I asked myself this question. I said, do I believe in simplicity or do I believe in complexity? Because you cannot hold two opposing beliefs inside your head. You cannot have two opposing beliefs. You either believe in simplicity or complexity. I come from a world of very complex things, and this was the simplest thing ever, right? And it kind of plays into our situation right now, right? There's all these complex things going on, and complexity is not the earmark of truth. Simplicity is the earmark of truth. Water has been true since the beginning of time, and it will be true until the end of time, whether we're on this planet or not. Energy, electricity will be true, is true, and will forever be true, regardless of whose flag or who's in control, or Democrat or Republican. That's all just hogwash, right? So I found myself at a crossroads 3 years ago of, 2014 was when June 2014 was when I hit my head. That was 6 years ago. And so luckily 2 months after that, in August of 2014, my company decided to close the research facility that I was at. And so 1,000 people got laid off. And then 40 people got job offers to relocate to California. And I was one of the 40. I went down there and looked at, South San Francisco, Oyster Point down by Genentech and Amgen down there. And so I was asked to start up their research facility. And frankly, I didn't want to live under the airport, and I didn't want to pay $1 million and restart my 30-year mortgage. And so I turned them down. And so out of 1,000 people that got laid off, 40 got job offers. One person turned down the company. I didn't go. So my friend took my spot, and those 40 went down there, and about 18 months later, 2 years later, they all got laid off. And they asked me, how did you know? I told them, life is not permanent, but you thought your job was? Life is not permanent. So all I know now, I know impermanence. I know of impermanence. I live like life is impermanent. I live every day, but people live like they are going to live forever. And so only because of my brush with death do I have that awareness that I do live forever, just not in this body. And so as a result, I can see so many things going on in our society that just puts people into this, this crocodile brain, right? Where fear is the only response we have. And it's a game, it's a chess game that's being played. But everyone on the planet just knows how to play checkers, right? And that's what's going on. And so it doesn't add up because it's not supposed to add up. It doesn't add up because you're not using the right kind of math, right? They're using chess moves, and we're looking at, hey, that's illegal. That's an illegal checkers move. It's not the same game. It's a higher level game that's being played on all of us. And right now the game is being played, and the game is fear right now. Fear forces you to not think rationally. It forces you to hoard. I don't know why, but in America, people are hoarding toilet paper. I have no idea why that is. Right? I have no idea, but that's what's going on right now. And people are panicked because of this coronavirus. It's going to apparently kill half the world, but apparently since the middle of December, it's only taken out like 5,800 people worldwide. I think probably more people have committed suicide in the past 3 months than in that or been killed by car accidents, or died from cancer or diabetes or the common flu. Right? There's so many more things that are a more pressing issue than this supposedly new unknown virus. And so I tell people that they should just look at the numbers. It doesn't add up. I mean, people have seen the movie like Outbreak or Contagion, and that's what they think this is. But this isn't that. Go outside, blue skies, sunny, all the humans are freaked out, but all the squirrels and ducks and everyone else is like, big deal. It's like there's nothing going on. All the fish swimming in the oceans, there's nothing going on. All the humans are all wigged out, going out of their minds. They're loading up on stuff. They're just hunkered down in their, toilet forts or whatever it is, or their, toilet paper forts or whatever it is. I don't know what people are building with all this toilet paper. I really have no idea. But they're freaking out. And so, but the reality is, I want to share something with you guys here. Let me see if I can, I want to share something with you guys here. Let me see, hypochlorous acid. Oh, let me, I need to hit share on my screen here.
Yeah, bottom middle, share.
There you go.
Cool.
Okay, so if you just go and Google hypochlorous acid, right? Hypochlorous acid, you can knock yourself up with the chemical, structures and, get all scientific and all that stuff. But here's, there's lots of articles on here. And the one that I've been sharing the most is this one called Harnessing Nature's Germ Killer. Hypochlorous acid is made by your white blood cells. It's made by neutrophils, right? It's made by, it's loading up here, but it's made by your neutrophils to kill bacteria and viruses and things like that. So our machine makes it. It's not toxic. It's not a forever chemical. You actually have to make it every week or 2 weeks, as soon as the chlorine off gases, but it's not going to last forever like hand sanitizer on your skin. It's not going to be toxic. So that's what we have. So I'm not afraid of any virus or, any, made up story about anything. I think the virus is real, but the numbers just aren't there. I probably have a better chance of winning the lottery than dying from like coronavirus, statistically. And so should there be concern? Yes, if you're in a high risk group, if you're older, if you're over 80 and over 70 or 60 or whatever, and you have a pre-existing medical condition, heart disease, diabetes, what have you, you're at risk for everything. You're at risk for the flu. You're at risk for like falling and breaking your hip. But don't let people scare you with all this, fear of the air, fear of other people. That's just a bunch of hogwash, basically. And so if you look at how you can, let me ask you this. Maybe Jenny, maybe you can unmute, or one of you guys can unmute there. So if you could, if you want to control a herd of sheep, right? What would you do?
Use the dogs.
Use the dogs.
Yeah.
Use the sheepdogs, right? And the sheepdogs corral the sheep, right?
Yeah.
And the sheep are scared. They don't know that they actually outnumber the dogs.
Yeah.
Right? But the sheep run from here to there, and the dogs are faster than the sheep, and that's what's going on.
Run in circles.
Right? And so, unfortunately, we are the sheep. We are the people being scared. We are the people being told by the sheepdog to beware of this, beware of that. Meanwhile, it doesn't add up. Where's all the numbers? Where's all the, this is so deadly. Where's all the people like in the streets? Like we've got like 100 million people dead already, like the last pandemic flu, right? And so it doesn't add up. If it doesn't add up, then in my mind, there's something else going on. Maybe this is a big cover for some, I don't know what it is, maybe 5G rollout. I have no idea what this thing is for. QAnon, someone told me about QAnon. It's like, I don't know all this stuff. All I know is like, hey man, this thing's not that deadly. Stop freaking out. You should be more concerned with your diabetes and cancer than whatever, coronavirus.
So Sam, you're showing us the hypochlorous acid. Is that because it's pretty much the same as the 2.5 pH as a sanitizer?
Yep.
Could you talk a bit more on that?
Yeah, so when you press that button and you make you run the water there, it pulls the salt water into the electrolysis chamber. That salt water gets split, right? The sodium goes up. Salt is NaCl, right? This would be a chemistry quiz for you guys. So salt is NaCl, right? So the Na, the salt part, goes up to the high pH, and it makes NaOH, right? And that NaOH is very high pH, and it'll help get rid of chemicals from your food when you wash your food. The Cl of the NaCl splits and goes down, and that goes into the 2.5 hypochlorous acid. So it makes HOCl. And HOCl is hypochlorous acid here, and it has some very good effects, right? And so, so I'm gonna zoom in here so you guys can take a screenshot or something like that. And so, could one of you guys just read that first paragraph?
So hypochlorous acid is the perfect weapon to fight germs. It hits hard against pathogens like methicillin-resistant Staphylococcus, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Yet this powerful weapon is 100% safe for humans, chemical-free, non-toxic, and all-natural. That's an impressive combination. It has been used in the medical field for over a century. Before antibiotics were available, HOCI was used to irrigate and disinfect wounds in World War I. It is now used in everyday settings, including daycare centers, hospitals, and even produce sections in grocery stores.
That's it. I don't need anything from the Johnson & Johnson family. I don't need any Clorox wipes. I don't need any BS from Costco. I got it right here. That machine that I have allows me to stop being a consumer, right? And so we can share this with people, and we let people use this so they don't have to be a consumer anymore. And so this is what's this is the power that we have. That's my story, and this is working. and people, I'm more fearless now. I guess, like, you guys see all these beads I wear? Like, I'm a recovering scientist. I'm a scientist that wears all these beads, right? I actually sleep with a foil grounding mat, so my feet are bare and touch that grounding mat. And my friend's like, dude, what are you doing? Like, I don't understand. It's like, you're a scientist and you do all this like hippie stuff. I'm like, dude, I'm doing what nature does. It's like, everyone that has a chemistry set is the new kid on the block. Mother Nature's been a chemist for 1 billion years, right? So she's done this. And so we modern scientists, and I started to look into science. I'm not much of a conspiracy guy. I'm a professional BS spotter, right? And so I can spot the complete BS of my old career, right? If we have a $1 trillion healthcare system that cannot even fix acid reflux, with all the research and all the professionals, everything, we've got like 1 million doctors and 1 million different purple pills, and they can't fix acid reflux. And I drink the stuff for a week and my acid reflux goes away. What the hell is going on? And so the earmark of truth is simplicity. And that's what we have. The earmark of truth is simplicity. And so, with all these talking monkeys in lab coats and suits and ties telling us to fear this, fear that, I think there's something else going on. It's not coronavirus, right? Right now, I'm a little congested because of pollen, right? Because of my allergies. And I'm thinking, why the hell am I allergic to tree pollen? I come from this planet, right? Maybe I've been eating so much junk food that my system can't even recognize the air, can't even recognize pollen, and I should take some pollen supplements or eat some stuff with pollen contaminated on it, so my body, my bacteria can actually recognize it. I don't need pills to, cover my symptoms. That's a good business model for someone, but that's not the way I want to live, because I know those. Unfortunately for the system, I know the toxic profile of many of these drugs. They're all gonna shorten your life and cause other issues. That's why, they show someone walking on the beach or playing with their grandchildren, and the lawyer gets on and explains all the side effects. Bleeding out of every hole in your body and thoughts of suicide, but your headache will go away. It doesn't make sense, right? And so, but unfortunately for the people running the game here, there's more people waking up and there's more people fed up. Unfortunately, waking up can be scary for a lot of people. And we don't mean to scare people, because they've believed in a system, they've believed in something for so long, it's a part of who they are. And so when you rip that rug out from them, or when you tell them that solid ground that they've been standing on is not really solid, it blows their minds and they go into fear. They grow into the crocodile brain and they have a visceral reaction. They hate you for waking them up. They hate you for ruining their blue pill, right? Because the red pill, unfortunately, is a if you guys have seen that movie, Red Pill, Blue Pill, right? The Matrix. That's what we live on. We live in a matrix. You think the coronavirus crashed the stock market? No. You think coronavirus closed the borders? Nope. It was people. I don't see any other animals out there freaked out and reading newspapers about coronavirus. I haven't asked all the squirrels yet, but no one else is freaked out. All the fish swimming around, no one else is freaked out. It's just the humans. It's weird. And we're the smart ones, apparently. Right? So it's just craziness. And so I wrote something on my board, my Facebook board the other day, that either this is real and half the world is going to die, or whatever, 2 or 3% of the world, which is like 100 million people are going to die, or this is false, and we're all going to wonder what the hell we've been told. So far, the numbers don't add up, and so it's looking like number 2, right? It's looking like this is false, and there's something else going on here. All I know is the first thing that you want to do is you want to separate people. Don't let them get together like we are, right? Don't let them talk. Don't let them share ideas. And divide and conquer is how every war starts. So I think there's a war going on, but I don't think this war will require bullets being shot. I think this is the information war because we're in the information age. Information can be weaponized, and today information is the weapon. Unfortunately, for a lot of people, they don't have what we have. We have the truth. We have something that actually, I don't know, drink this stuff. It's a lot simpler than Tylenol. It's a lot simpler than going through surgery. Drink this stuff and see what happens. It's a pretty low bar. It's just a little bit harder than breathing, right? It's just a little bit, drinking water is just a little bit harder than breathing. But somehow people think it's like signing up for surgery or something. It's like, no way, there's no way I'm going to do that. I'm like, well, go ahead. Go try your surgery for the 3rd time. It's your life, not my life, right? So I conduct myself a little differently. I'm very forward. I'm very frank about how I tell people. It's like, I don't have time to convince the naysayers. I don't have time to break through everyone's thick skull. There's enough people that are suffering out there. There's enough people that are looking for options. There's enough people looking for a better way. I'd rather work with those people, the open-minded people. I don't have time for the closed-minded people. They can wait till I come around, or they can try to catch up later, right? But for now, I'm just looking for the open-minded people. That's about it. If you're open, I'll work with you. If you're not open, catch me some other time, right? If you're still around, right? But that's the truth, and it's just we're free. We're free as much as we can be free in our mind. Unfortunately, your mind is what traps most of society is freaked out right now, and they don't realize their jail is their mind, right? And so people ask me, well, Sam, how can you do what I do? It's like, I don't know. I've died and come back. You think I'm afraid of like coronavirus? I'm not even afraid of death anymore, right? Like dying's the easy part. Dying, I'll live in eternity as a spirit. It's the living that's hard. People don't realize that. Dying is easy. It's the living that's hard. It's a living an unfulfilled life. It's a living chasing this constant money. It's living, not finding and letting the voice out, letting your voice out. It's living this facade that you gotta wear a certain clothes or have a certain hairstyle or whatever to fit in. I don't need to fit in. I already fit in. When I was in heaven, I already fit in. It's a natural fit, right? And so I don't need to fit in with, if everyone's going crazy, I do not need to fit in, right? And that's what the world is going. It's like, I don't know. I got enough. I got enough in my heart and in my soul to not, to not go along with everyone for everything, because all we are is we're all escorting each other home ultimately. We all have this 80 years and then we live in eternity, right? Well, actually we live in eternity, but you get this little segment that's 80 years. So you come from eternity, you have this human experience, and then you go back to the eternity. That's what it really is. And people don't understand that. They think the human life, the 80 years is the eternity, and it ends. And they're just, it's so backwards, and it doesn't add up. It doesn't add up. So, I hope that you guys can, find it in your heart, find it in your soul, find it in your life to share this freedom with people, because, what we are is we're helping people change their lives, and we're using the simplest thing ever. Not the most, Water is a lot simpler than your cell phone, I guarantee you. Okay? But water is going to outlast your cell phone. Water is going to outlast humanity. There's going to be no water 2.0. There'll be an iPhone 25 or something in a few years, right? But there's no water 2.0. The water that's on this planet has been the water that's been on this planet since the beginning of time. It's just getting more polluted with our modern chemicals and stuff like that. And so, I tell people, like, disease is not your problem. Disease is your smoke alarm. If you have a skin rash, hey, don't worry about the skin rash. Worry about what causes the skin rash. Right? If you can't digest your bread, bread's not the problem. You shouldn't eliminate bread. Figure out why you can't digest your bread. Your headache's not your problem. Maybe what caused your headache might be the problem. Right? And I tell people to think a little differently. Right? But let's open it up for questions, because I sometimes people, I don't want to come off as preachy. I share my truth, and I'm very succinct now. I share my truth, and people can take it or leave it.
We love it. I don't know if you've been watching the chat. I don't think you have. Everyone is agreeing with you completely. So thank you so much for sharing all that you have. We have had a few questions come in through the chat.
Yeah.
One of them is, what are your thoughts on using 2.5 against this virus?
Yeah. So that I think I posted something maybe earlier today that it's actually I think one of you guys can pull it up on my Facebook page or something like that. But it actually am I still sharing? No, I'm not sharing here. Let me pull this up. But I think it'll be very helpful for you guys to reckon. There it is. Okay. So I just had it here. So hey, let me pull this up here. There it is. Okay, now let me share the screenshot, not the screenshot, the page here. And so you guys can read it here. Can you guys read that?
Yeah.
Read kind of like read the headline there. Right. So
yeah,
they use hypochlorous to kill viruses. It's pretty cool, huh? That's the holy grail right there. That's it. But that's for someone who needs to see data. I don't need to see data. I just I tell people results are better than data. Do you want the result or you want the data? Some people ask me, hey, well, do you have any clinical data? I'm like, dude, do you want the result or do you want the data? Because the result right now is that you have active diabetes. Do you want more data or do you want the result? Right. So look that paper up, okay, guys? And hey, and look at all the names. They look Japanese to me. It's like, what? Where has this stuff been for decades? Oh, Japan, they're always ahead of us. Whether it's Nintendo or whatever, or Hondas or Toyotas, they're always ahead of us. Because they look out for their society. Everyone bows to each other over there. When there's a natural disaster, everyone lines up. There's no looting, right? It comes from their society. It's ingrained in them, right? Unfortunately for us, people hoarding toilet paper over here for some reason. Who knows why? So that hopefully that helps with the killing this virus. It does. Period. They kill everything.
So how would you recommend people use the 2.5? I know for myself, I do use it as a gargle and as a general disinfectant in a bottle. Is there any other way you would recommend? Would you recommend drinking it?
Yeah, if you got some bad sushi or you got some stomach bug or something like that, then take a glass of it. It'll help you kill whatever got into your stomach, because your stomach is very acidic, obviously, to kill bacteria. But sometimes you get some bad fish or some rotten food or something, and it overtakes your stomach. But yeah, you could drink a little bit, but I wouldn't drink very much of it. But it doesn't leave a when you use it on your hands, it's a much softer for your hands. It actually makes your hands soft. It doesn't dry your hands out like alcohol does. But you could use it without causing contact dermatitis. all sorts of skin issues. So very useful. Pretty much replace any kind of alcohol disinfectant around the house, kill mold, kill all sorts of stuff. So
amazing. We did have a really good question come through. I'm not sure if you want to stop sharing your screen so we can see your face, though. Catherine asked, how have your peers and co-workers reacted to you using Kangen water? Because you said that they have disagreed with some of your methods now. So what has their feedback been?
yeah, well, I used to want to wake people up, but I realized that waking, the process of waking up, you kind of have to destroy your old paradigm. You kind of have to destroy your old world, right? And some people are not ready to wake up. And so I used to care. I actually went into depression because I wondered why my friends didn't believe me. But then I just made new friends. Like all you guys, right? And so I don't, if you're trying to help your friend out and they don't believe you, then I guess like that friendship wasn't so strong, maybe coworker or something like that, right? And so, and that's, when I think a test of a true friendship is who's there for you when you're going through the rough times. That's the test of a true friendship. Not who's going to say happy birthday on your birthday. Everyone does that, but a true friend is going to see you and see your mission and see your heart and kind of want to know what you're doing. But a lot of people watch me. I know a lot of people watch me on Facebook. People spy on each other on Facebook. It's just like, what are they doing? And so I just live my life, and I don't care what people think. I used to care a lot, which is weird, right? But since the only thing I care about is getting back to heaven, right? And I'm going to conduct myself in a way that allows me to live in eternity, right? And so that's the only judge, the only person that I allow to judge me or is eternity, right? So I hope that helps. But you have to get past. That. Another thing I want to share with you guys is one of the things that people in this business in Kangen, they drop out for a very specific reason. Okay, we actually have 3 brains. Okay, so you have one brain, but in theory you have 3 brains. You have the crocodile brain, the fear, the fight or flight brain, the Neanderthal brain, right? And then the second brain that you have is the social brain, right? The social brain keeps you from saying things that makes your dad or mom or brother mad at you. So Thanksgiving becomes weird, right? So you have this filter on your mouth, right? To keep you belonging, right? You conduct yourself. You don't be that weirdo in your group, right? Because pretty soon you're not in the group anymore, right? That's a social brain. The third brain is the thinking brain, the logical brain. The whole, all these MD, PhDs and all this stuff, all these scientists, right, or former scientists, right, this thinking brain. So what we have now is the coronavirus, and people they're not up here anymore. They're not even social. They're doing antisocial. Hoarding is antisocial. So they're resorting to, I got to get mine to survive. I got to get my ammunition. I got to get my toilet paper. I don't know which one first, but I got to get one of those, right? And so that's what fear does. But when we share this with people and people reject us, we're getting killed in the social brain. I got killed in the social brain. But unfortunately for me, or fortunately for me, I'm also a scientist. So I have the science to back me up, right? I have the results to back me up. All my science friends, they can't handle the social. They can't handle, it's too hot in the kitchen. So they'd rather just toe the line. That makes sense? Yeah. And so we have to have a strong social community. That's what this is powerful, that we get together and share this, because none of us are alone, right? The tide is turning, that there's more people woke and there's more people fed up with the system. And it is what it is. And it's we're getting to that point where either we're going to have mass extinction or we're going to have mass wake up. It's one of those two. I don't know what's going to happen, and I'm not worried about what's happening. I just conduct myself in whatever way that I think is for the long term, for generations, right? So hopefully that helps. But when you get to that social, it's like, wow, my brother or my friends are not, my friends aren't calling me anymore. They ghosted me. Well, make new friends, right? There's 7.6 billion people in the world. I got friends all over the place, right? Like, so when someone unfriends me, who cares? I got 2 people to replace them, right? And so I don't need to. We don't need to worry about losing friends. Nowadays with Facebook, I think what's the limit? 5,000 friends, but so don't worry about it socially, okay? You guys can reach out to me anytime. Message me on Facebook and see if I respond. Right? That's what happened, right, Jenny? Right?
Yeah.
So where are you guys? Are you guys in Australia or where are you guys?
We're all around the world. There's people in here from Italy, someone who's actually in a quarantine I saw in the chat. I'm in Sydney. There's someone from Perth, New York. Yeah, we're all around the world, all throughout Europe as well. It's beautiful.
Yeah, you see how powerful this is? This is amazing, right? So you guys have a Kangen family all around the world. And now you guys have a Kangen scientist. Don't become a scientist. It's a waste of time, right? You have a Kangen scientist on your team already, okay? We're all on the same team. We're Team Oshiro, okay? We're Team Kangen. We're Team Anagic, right? We're Team like Wake Up or whatever it is.
Yes.
That's the team we're on.
Bless up, Mr. Oshiro. So grateful for you.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on how we're unable to make medical claims or claims that 2.5 kills the virus? How do you go about that with your community?
I share the research. I just say, hey, you should read this. Check this out. It says that hypochlorous acid will kill bacteria or kill viruses. Look at that. I'm not a doctor. I don't play one on TV. I don't pretend to be one. Just look at the research. If you want to try it, I'll give you some. That's it. Right?
Amazing.
So I just talk about the research. There it is. Right? And so, yeah, try not to, do not make any claims because that's going to be a slippery slope. And then, basically don't leave the room and come back with like a lab coat and stethoscope around your head, like on your neck. Like, don't become a doctor, right? Because people are like, dude, you just left the room and why you change clothes? Like, mentally, that's what happens, right? You play basketball, your friends, and all of a sudden you start talking medical stuff and they're like, dude, you can't even do layups. Like, what are you talking about? Now you're a doctor? It doesn't make sense. So I tell people, don't become a Kangen doctor. We don't need Kangen doctors. They're a waste of time. They don't know what they're doing anyways. So that's why, that's why I tell people, you want results or you want data? If you want data, hey, hit me up next year. I might have time to give you data. If you don't want data and you want to try this, then I got time to share water with you. Right? It's pretty urgent right now, don't you think? What we're doing? Doesn't the world need what we have? So I don't know. It's either mass extinction or mass wake up here, and I'd rather work out with the mass wake up people. Right? And it's survival of the fittest. It's always been survival of the fittest, don't you think, on this planet? Right? I think that's more of an issue today as the planet gets dirtier and dirtier. It's survival of the fittest. You have to be fit in your physical being. You have to be fit financially. You have to be fit mentally. You have to be fit in spirit, right? And if you're weak in any of those, you're going to get taken out. Not by whatever policy, but nature's going to take you out, right? That's what happens. If you look at the risk factors, for the flu, it's the same. Older people with immunocompromised systems, right? And that's true for everyone. That's true for me. If I start eating junk food and drinking beer all the time, I mean, I drink alcohol from time to time and burgers from time to time, but I don't do it all the time. And I can't be surprised I'll end up diabetic. I mean, if you're surprised, then, you know, you're not really thinking about, you're thinking about, you know, the short-term fix, right? But so what else you guys got?
Yes, so Brian asked a question in the chat. He asked, your transition into this state of mind, was it uncomfortable but also comforting?
It was extremely uncomfortable because I had to pretty much go against everything that I believed. You know, I had to make a new group of friends, and I actually went into a little bit of a depression because I was actually wondering why my quote unquote good friends weren't, why I couldn't relate to them, you know, because you're part of this herd, you're part of this group, you're part of this social circle, and all of a sudden you say, hey guys, look what I found. It's the simplest thing ever, and they look at you kind of crazy and make you feel weird and stuff. And I was like, I don't think those guys are my friends to begin with. You know, maybe I used to work at the same company and we used to collect the same paycheck, but they weren't really my friends. You know, so yeah, it was tough. It was tough, but nowadays with the internet and social media, you guys can make a new group of friends very easily. You know, it's always been a small group of like-minded individuals that have changed the world. Think about it. It's always been a small group, not a huge group, right? That have changed the world, that have sparked change. It was never a big group that created change. Everything big always starts small. And for me, I realized that I was nothing. Right? It's strange because you have ego, right? Everyone has ego, and that you're worried about yourself and what people think. But when you realize that you're nothing, you're nothing. You know, you're less than a piece of dust in the universe. That you're nothing. It allows you to do everything, because you realize everything is made up of nothing, and the biggest things are made up of the smallest things. And when I realized my nothingness, I just started speaking my mind, and people's like, wow, this guy is really like passionate. This guy is really on point. It's like, dude, I stopped playing the social games. I stopped towing the line, you know, and that's when it got, you know, that's what was freeing, to finally say stuff. It's like, I think this whole coronavirus situation is complete BS. Yes, is the virus real? Yeah, it's real, but you know, it's not that big of a deal. So there's something else going on here. You know, when it doesn't add up, it doesn't add up. And I can say that because I'm not worried about what people think. If I was worried about what people think, then I wouldn't say that, would I? Right? We have that social filter. So unfortunately, that's what our society is. Everyone wants to toe the line. Well, everyone's going off the cliff. I don't want to go off the cliff, right? So.
Amazing. We did have a few more questions come through. Do you have time for about another 5 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Catherine asked, amazing. Is Anagic your full-time job, distributing?
Yeah. Yep, I do that full-time. And so people ask me what I do. It's like, you know, I say I drink water professionally. I'm a professional water drinker. And they go, what do you mean by that? You know, well, you drink water too, right? I said, yeah, I drink water. Well, do you pay for your water? Oh, yeah, I do. Then you drink as an amateur because you pay. When I drink water, I get paid. Right? I'm trying to find a way to sleep professionally too. Right? Hey, there's people that play video games professionally. There's people that play golf professionally. There's people that play basketball or whatever, you know, cricket or whatever it is. You know, they play professionally, but they play at a high level. Dude, I drink at a high level. I'm a professional drinker, right? So.
I love that. We're all professional drinkers here.
I'm a professional drinker. I stopped being an amateur. So.
I love that. Absolute fire. Yes, Sam. Vibing with you hard. I'm not sure if you know the answer to this question, though Olivia asked, can I use 2.5 in my diffuser with essential oils? Do you know?
I don't know about using it in your essential oil, your diffuser. I don't know about diffusing hypochlorous acid. Maybe breathing that all the time might not be a good thing for your body. But maybe using it to disinfect your diffuser once in a while, that might be a good idea. But I don't think breathing chlorine and hypochlorous acid over a long duration on a daily basis is probably a wise thing to do. Probably 11.5 might be good because that will actually that will actually emulsify your oil. So 11.5 might be good. 9.5 were good, but I'd probably stay away from the 2.5.
Yeah, that makes sense. And last question from Erica. Any tips for how to spread knowledge of the water without coming across as a know-it-all, or do you just move on from the people who don't want to hear it?
Yeah. So I used to like throw up on people about water, right? It's like, oh, do you drink water? And then all of a sudden I'm an encyclopedia about water. But now the idea, okay, so one thing you guys have to understand is everything is opposite in this business. Okay. If you approach this business like you have to do the business, then you have another job. Okay. If you approach this thing like it's very complex, then you're not going to be very successful, right? So this project is about water, but it's not water that we're selling. What I'm selling is your life. It says, change your water, change your life, right? So what I'm selling you is your life, right? What I have is a tool, and the tool is Kangen. And that tool allows me to get into every single door in the world. But what I'm really selling is life, right? So people go to college, right? Why did people go to secondary school? I mean, college and things like that. They sign up to go through 4 years of school, $100,000 to build a better life, right? After that, after they graduate, they have a little sheet of paper that says, please hire me so I can start my life, right? How's that tool working for them? It's not working so well, right? So my tool just happens to work better, right? And some of my customers haven't even been born yet, right? I mean, it's the end all be all. It allows me to stop buying everything. And so, when I talk to people, I don't talk about water. I talk about, hey, what's the big dream that you're working on? Oh, who wants to role play? All right. Who wants to role play? I'll do this so you guys can understand. Someone want to role play here?
All right,
I'll
Shelby.
role play.
Okay, Shelby. Where are you, Shelby? Wave at me there. I don't know who's who.
I don't have my video on because it's really dark here in Chicago, but I'll
Okay.
totally roleplay.
Okay, Shelby. So you pretend that you're not in Kangen, okay, Shelby?
Sure.
Okay. So you're a friend of mine, and we haven't seen each other in 6 months or something like that. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Hey, Shelby. Good to see you again. What you been up to?
Oh, just hanging out, living life, doing me, going to my work.
Yeah. Where do you work at?
I'm a research assistant.
Really? Are you
Yeah.
are you married to that job, or are you looking for other things to do?
No, I work nights and I'm ready to get out of it.
Really? What would you do if you could get out of it?
Travel the world, help others heal.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah.
passionate about.
Are you serious about that? Are you really super passionate about it?
Yes, completely, 1000%.
Well, that's what I've been doing the past few years. So if you're really serious about it, maybe I could share with you what I do.
Yes, let's hear it.
Okay. So are you free on Friday or are you free on Saturday? Which one's better for you?
Probably Saturday.
Saturday? Okay. I'll come pick you up and I'll introduce you to a friend of mine who's also doing this with me.
Yeah,
That sound good?
beautiful, beautiful.
Okay. Yeah. That's it.
I'm
Done.
an easy sell.
Appointment set. Right? And then I have my friend do the demo and my friend talk the business and then I'm done. And then I'll ask Shelby, hey, Shelby, could you do what I did?
What, sell to people?
Yeah, could you do
Yes,
what I
I
did?
believe I could.
Yeah, how did I get you to the appointment? Or how did I get you the info?
Just by relating to me, just by asking me questions and
Yeah.
figuring out what's best for me, you know?
Yeah. So could you do what I did?
Of course, yes.
That's it. Yeah. Don't become a Kangen scientist. Right? Just become a lifesaver. Become a life changer, right? That's what we do. Okay. Is that helpful, guys?
Super helpful. Thank you so much, Sam. It's honestly been such a pleasure hearing you. Is there anything else you wanted to share before we jump off?
Yeah, so I hope and pray that we can all keep our sanity as I don't know what these governments are going to do next, what they're going to shut down next. Um, so the actual numbers of the coronavirus thing that's supposedly this pandemic that's going to take out half the world or something. It's already taken out most of the economy globally. So there's something going on here, but I definitely guarantee you it's not coronavirus, right? But I hope that we could, seize this opportunity to help people wake up and help people see that they could create and that they are creators in their life. They can choose to create fear. They can choose to create depression. They can choose to create freedom and joy. Whatever they want to create, they can create. And so I tell people that, like if you come into that power and you realize who you really are, you can create your universe. But the thing is, you got to stop listening to everyone else. So I'm not afraid to put a dent in the universe. And so I hope that we all can go out there and dent the universe together and share this with people and not be afraid to share water. If I was doing something bad, I should be very afraid to share a lie. But I'm sharing the truth, and I'm not afraid to share the truth. The liars should be afraid, right? So go share your truth, guys. We're on to something big, and it's better than science because it actually works. Simple as that. It's the simplest thing ever. So I love all you guys. I hope to meet all of you guys someday soon. And then, let's just try to keep it real, try to keep people woke, and help people wake up gently,
100%. Much love for you from us as well, Sam. How can we connect with you?
Just on through Facebook or Messenger. I do help a variety of teams. My team wonders why I help everyone around the world and all these teams that, I say I just have lots of friends and I have a message to share with people. I have the truth. And so this was given to me by Mr. Shiro. My life was given, my second chance was given to me. And so my life is to give to people. It's not to hoard for myself, because impermanence is what I know. Impermanence is what I live. And so I live like it's impermanent. Right.
Amazing. So Facebook is the best way to go. Are you on Instagram as well?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram. I think it's IBSam on Instagram. So it's IBEESAM. So you can find me on there. I'm not on there as much as I guess like this year I'll be 49. I might not look like I'm 49, but I'll be 49 this year because of this. This has been really helping out a lot, guys. And so I'm telling you, you're 75% water on purpose for a reason. And we're here for a reason. And so my friend's like, dude, you haven't aged since you're like when you turned 30. I'm like, well, that's what I'm doing, and it's for you to find out sooner or later. So, but yeah, I hope to connect with you guys soon.
I'm sure that we will. Thank you so much for your time. It's much appreciated. Yeah. Thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you this time next week.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye.